Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. It's a rainy day, but that's not news anymore. We are in the season, and it seems that in Lagos here, southwest of the country where we're broadcasting from, the rainy season intends to let us know about it every day from the past few days. It's that kind of a day in Lagos. Perhaps where you are, it might not be like that. In any case, welcome to the show. Okay, we're looking at... We're going over to Edo State this morning, and the governor there, Governor Monday Ekpebolo, has actually, influenced or called for the, establishment of a designated special criminal court, and this is to handle all cases. I'm talking about the Edo State High Court Chief Registrar Benson Osawaru. He made this announcement late last week, and we'll be looking into that. And for that, the special advisor to Governor Ekpebolo on legal matters, Mr. Andrew Emwata, is our guest. Good morning to you, Mr. Emwata.
Yeah, good morning, Yuri. It's a pleasure to be on your program this morning. Indeed.
Glad to have you. So, well, it's not always that, the governor, initiates court establishments. But one then must understand that it would appear that Edo State has been plagued in recent times by, cultism, misbehavior, same thing with kidnapping, unfortunate instances. I would just be guessing that the governor has gotten fed up with, the persistence of these class of offenses, and that's why he has made this request. Is that the way to put it properly? Is it a request or is it an order? How does it work? Now, please, I need a special high court.
Yuri?
Yes. Sorry.
I think you are right, absolutely, because every law that is made or executive order, as it were, in the case of a governor or the president, is normally inspired or motivated by a mischief. We've always had this problem of kidnapping, cultism, related criminal activities, but it came to a head where there was a kidnap incident in the popular market, within the GRA of Benin, known as the vegetable market, where in broad daylight, some, criminals, kidnappers, kitted in these local vigilante, outfits, attacked a man and his wife in their car. They escaped. I mean, the effrontery by which they pursued them and, brought the woman back. So people thought that these were just, law enforcement, agents trying to apprehend people who have committed the crime, not to know that, these persons that they went after were actually victims. But the good story is that the governor gave a marching order, and to the glory of God, within 3 days, the victims were rescued and the kidnappers were apprehended. And of course, the governor was able to find a learning curve in that incident. Most of these people who involved in kidnap, activities in Edo State are not from our states. They actually come from outside, because this particular, the ringleader of that gang, I won't mention the state, but comes from a state in the south, and was somewhat domiciled in Benin City. So the governor that day, when he went to the police commissioner, gave a marching order that as governor of Edo State, he will not shy away from signing the death warrant, because under the anti-kidnapping law and our cultism law, which were laws he introduced as through executive bills to the House of Assembly, passed, places death penalty as the principal punishment for both kidnapping and cultism upon conviction. And as you may already know, and our viewers, when a premises is used by kidnappers upon conviction, such a premises is demolished. Though there are certain reforms we are trying to bring in of, maybe seizing such assets, and the state can now use that asset maybe as a police station, particularly with this clamor for state police. So most of these premises, will be committed, into the project, so that we have state police almost in every part of our state. And it now tells the history that this was the premises where kidnappers once stayed, but it's now a police station. So the summary of what the governor has done was to make a request to the chief judge asking for a special court that would try kidnapping and cultism related cases. And the chief judge was gracious enough to that request. And by tomorrow, that court will start officially, hearing cases related to kidnapping and cultism. Because the problem of kidnapping and cultism is a national problem. Just we abducted by members of Boko Haram and ISWAP, and even one of the teachers killed. You find that even in Delta, just recently in Ughelli, we had a similar kidnap incident. So in those states, we are not taking it, for granted. It's a problem, a clear and present danger that the Edo State government is dealing with, headlong.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was saying that even the former governor, of course, I think, well, the former governor, he's well-known, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, he has said that he couldn't be behind the governor anymore. He has his maximum, support. In fact, so much so that the sentence for this crime upon conviction is death by hanging. Oshiomhole is saying that he's even advocating execution by firing squad. So, of course, that's not in the law yet, but it does show the urgency with which political elders in Edo State are taking this whole matter.
Yeah, thank you. Both offenses, kidnapping and cultism, are state offenses because our state penal law, clearly defines what it is. And if we call our special criminal courts, the special criminal court one, section 97 of our Administration of Criminal Justice Law, empowers the chief judge to designate it as a special court. So I think it will be a proposal that will go before the House of Assembly, for our laws to be amended so that mode of, executing, a death warrant or a death sentence should be such that it will not create that element of deterrence. I remember during the time we had the likes of Lawrence Anini, criminals who terrorized, the then Benin State, which of course, consists of both the present Edo and Delta. I remember between 85 and 86, these people were executed publicly.
Yeah, that was under a military decree.
Placed on the stake, through firing squad. But I think there are even more modern ways of executing, criminals. Public execution of these persons can still be done through these modern ways. Through electrocution. You can even use lethal injection, or you can, as we have it under our laws, by hanging. And I think it should be done publicly.
Indeed, I think
when it is televised, it sends a message to these criminals that is the fate you will suffer from. Because I remember when Anini and others were executed publicly, even young children who were involved in petty stealing were warned that if you don't stop, you'll be executed publicly. Because when these people are convicted in courts and they are secretly executed, members of their family don't see them. But when it is done openly, it sends a very strong message.
Okay.
And that is why the Edo State government is very serious about it. And in days ahead, our laws will be modified so that we can even look at the possibility of tracing illicit funds from kidnapping and cultism, so that if you have spent money buying cars for your mother or you have built houses for your parents, such properties will be seized by the state because they are process of crime. We even have a POCA, the Process of Crimes Act, and Edo State, of course, is in the process of domesticating it, specifically identifying cultism and kidnapping as offenses for which such proceeds could refer to the state.
Indeed.
Because we need money to build police stations under these new state police arrangements. So those monies can now go into these areas,
Okay. But I wonder if it is a consideration that capital punishment around the world arguably is on the way out. It's like people feel the more we've come along that we have to be, we have to look away from, a judicial, killing, that it's not anymore the norm around the world. But I'm sure these impressions would have been considered too when all these arrangements or all these ideas are being floated. Can we say that, well, the situation on ground in Edo State is such that, they are willing to take on that particular gauntlet? This whole idea of, we don't kill people. Please go ahead, sir.
I don't think it's really an Edo thing. It's a Nigerian problem. Because when you look at the horror that both offenses come with, imagine children writing NECO exams, their teacher was shot in their presence, these persons were taken into the bush. Remember, 47 days ago, 42 students were abducted in that same local government. Children, some of them, I mean, these guys are not human beings, right? If we kill goats during festivities, I don't see why these persons cannot be executed publicly. The notes that should be homegrown. Because the way you rate criminal activities in the US, and they have their homegrown solutions there, you cannot rate it in a third world democracy like ours. Because our people are moved by optics. It is what they see that move them. If they know that they'll be publicly executed, it will send a very strong message of deterrence. Because every day, people go out to eke out a livelihood. They will now see a very few of our citizenry, I mean less than 1%, trying to make life very unbearable. And that is the duty of government, because Section 14, sub 2B of our Constitution says the security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. And the legal implication of that is that it imposes a duty, a foundational duty on the state to protect every citizen from, cultists, as we find in it. There was a time in our state where to be a member of a cult group was a thing of pride. But since the anti-cultism law has been passed, the governor has sent a very strong message. Even at that time, within government circles, if you are Rome, you behave like a Roman. This is the first governor that's not a Roman. This is one governor that speaks tough against cultism. And of course, cultism has relocated from Edo. And even kidnapping also has relocated. With this special criminal court, I can assure you that almost on a monthly basis, we are going to be receiving convictions. And once the matters get to Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court now affirms what the Court of Appeal has said, the governor will sign the letter, the execution order. And by the time we amend our laws, we can even take them close to Ikuba Hill, either through firing squad or public execution, by hanging.
Wow. Okay.
And I think that will send a very strong message that the present Edo State government has zero tolerance for any form of crime, particularly kidnapping and cultism.
I was reading the reports. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I was reading the reports, and Governor Kpobolo, in some of his utterances, has opined that, look, this whole attack on the state via cultism, kidnapping, that is all politically motivated. And I think he had said that, make no mistake about it, whatever you do, we shall not be moved. There is no vacancy in Aso Rock. He actually thinks that this is not just spontaneous crime happening on its own, that somehow it is being teleguided. What would you say about that?
I think to a large extent, there's some elements of, there are some factual basis for what the governor said, because most of these criminal elements, they have political forces encouraging them. They use bank accounts, and at times the kind of weapons they use. Just recently, a huge catch of weapons were recovered by the United States of America. So you find that there's a political nexus between criminality and those who feel aggrieved, who want to. Just recently there was a coup plot, and those that were behind it. Some politicians were behind it, who are currently on the run. So what the governor was trying to say is that allow the government to deal with this problem of insecurity. We've had cases where
Well, just to apologize to our viewers, I'm not too surprised what with the rains, but so the audio is drifting in and out. Okay.
Constitutes a clear and present danger. All members of political parties must come together to deal with it.
Okay. Okay. Now, of course,
this problem of insecurity.
All right then. It is well known that you know, sometimes the wheels of justice grind slowly, and we have lawyers tell us that it's not unusual at all for some cases to spend upwards of a year, 2, 3, and in the special cases, maybe land cases, can go as high as 20 years. Now, bearing that in mind, that slow pace of justice dispensation and the added expense, by the way, on the system, you know, that must be part of the reason. Now, how slowly does it grind, continue that metaphor? How slowly do these wheels grind that has made the governor say, you know what, I think I need a designated special criminal court? If it were in the regular courts, how much time are we hoping to save with a designated criminal court as opposed to it being in, you know, a sort of a regular court? I wonder if you heard me, because I know the network might be playing up. Hello, Mr. Andrew Emwata. Can you hear me? Okay. The network, as I suspected, and we had said that it's likely to be like this. We have a good connection, but the thing is, it's dropping in and out from time to time.
Yeah. Thank you. At the moment, Edo State government very well. I heard you.
Okay, thank you. Continue, please.
But essentially, what I was saying earlier is that the Edo State government has made a request for 8 additional High Court judges. You know,
okay.
Because this special criminal court 1 was established. We only had a dealing with certain offenses, including gender-seated to approved by the National Judicial Council. So we are now constrained with a very limited number because the law establishing the High Court says we need as much as 80 judges, but the number we have is just around 35.
Okay.
So now having this criminal court, special criminal court, to deal with these high-profile cases of, you know, kidnapping, which are special crimes, kidnapping and cultism, is necessary because there are times the people investigating will need a remand order, right? Because for you to keep somebody beyond the constitutionally guaranteed time of 48 hours, you require a court order. But when these courts are busy, it's difficult to secure such an order.
I see.
And you know, these are twin cases of kidnapping.
Yes.
Or cultism. You can have upward of 50 cases at a time. So you now need a special court, right, to deal with this. And that is what inspired, you know, the request the governor made, which the chief judge has granted. And of course, the court, you know, begin its operations from tomorrow.
Indeed, on the 1st of July. Okay, Benga in Abuja, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling.
Good morning to your guest.
Yes.
I so much appreciate him, and he's, you know, have been very, very, you know, elusive. Given what you have said, I showed that he really know what to say. And I want to appreciate him because he has been the different government. The past government, he was very, very active there. Now in this government, he's active again. He said that he's very versatile and has a lot to offer. So I have to appreciate him for that. And I think we see more success in his career.
Indeed.
You see, the governor has done the right thing, Mr. Yori.
Okay.
Like I always say that the state governor has no power to tackle security in their state. The government has every power to tackle security in their state. These governors have made this law now and set up a court to track cultism and kidnapping. this is one of the measures we can take in the sub-government, local government and state government to tackle security. One of the ways to tackle security is by making sure that people get punished for those offenses, and that will serve as deterrent to those who want to commit or who are in the committed that offense. So this is a good way because number one, without call with hasty threat of prosecution. And before you know it, within 2-3 months, people are prosecuted and they are executed. And this now makes me to say, look, if I go into this thing, the likelihood of being caught and prosecuted is there. See, one of the ways we can tackle security in Nigeria is by tackling kidnapping. Kidnapping has become a business in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And people are now seeing it as a way of making money. Like I said in one of your programs, all the armed robbers who always stop the zero bus on the road and take away money from them, the cashless policy do not allow you to carry money now because you don't need to carry cash before you can start your business. So now they are giving to kidnapping. And many of these kidnappers, the locals are involved, and also they are using other people from other part of the country. I don't want to mention. To perpetrate this evil, they work together because the other people in other country cannot be successful in this if the locals, people in the state, in the community are not part of them. They show them the people who have the money. They show them where to go to kidnap and make money. By the time they do the community, the change run away. So I appreciate the effort of the governor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling in. Andrew, did you want to add to that?
I think what he's agree, but just to say that the problem of kidnapping has taken a new dimension. If you notice the trend now, Boko Haram, their modus operandi, which of course used to be operating as suicide bombers and the rest, have now taken a new form of now kidnapping school students. And I think it's a threat to education, a serious threat. Even recently, we had a scare in Edo, I think Edo North, where we got an advisory from the DSS that now made the Edo state government to close some schools, particularly at the time when students are preparing for very important exams like WAEC and ECHO examinations. So I think it's a collective responsibility of Nigerians, irrespective of political affiliation, irrespective of ethnic and other affiliations.
Indeed.
We have to come together because this constitutes a clear and present danger to the continued existence and peace of our country. Okay. And that's what the Edo State government is doing currently in tackling with this hydra-hidden monster of kidnapping and cultism. Because there's a causal link between cultism and kidnappers, because we've discovered that most kidnappers are members of secret cults. So the moment you nip one in the bud, you take care of the other.
Interesting. Okay. Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to the guests. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Uncle Yori, the step taken by the governor is a very good one. In fact, I'm very proud of that governor for what he's doing in that state. If you do not take appropriate action against criminals, you give them the impression that they can go and do whatever they like to members of the society. Only actions like this can deter them, not just ruminating here and there without any actions. I urge this governor, when this law takes form and somebody is judged by the courts, he should use the first set of people as an example to others and go on and execute them. He shouldn't behave like some coward governors that have kept criminals that have been condemned to death for 10 years in their states, feeding them with government money. Criminals that have been condemned, who are detrimental to the society, you are feeding them with government money for 10 years and above. That is not allowed. What I expect, Uncle Yori, there was a law that President Jonathan signed into law, the Administrative Criminal Justice Act. That act says that you should try criminal cases consecutively. That is, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, consecutively like that. and that you should not adjourn a case more than 2 weeks. This is aimed at facilitating justice system in our country. Why is it not enforced? I expect the CJN to have put some reforms in place since she came. I may be wrong, but I have not seen it yet.
Yeah.
We expect some reforms in the criminal justice system in such a way that you don't have to keep a criminal for 4 years before you sentence him.
Okay.
The one that was done, the kidnappers that were sentenced in Ekiti State just last week or the week before, they committed the offense in 2 times.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for coming in, Mr. George. Tell you what, Mr. Emwata, let me take a quick break so that I won't interrupt you when whatever you're saying. I'll be right back. We'll continue the program. Stay with us. Okay, welcome back. And we're looking at the legal situation in, or the judicial situation in Edo State, where the Chief Registrar of the Edo State High Court, Benson Osawaru, has announced that in line with the government's, with Governor Kwebolo's request, there has been the establishment of a designated special criminal court for kidnapping and cultism. Our guest is Mr. Andrew Emwata, Special Advisor to Governor Kwebolo on legal matters. Okay, I don't know if so far we've got support. People have called in to say that exactly. Benga called in from Abuja, Mr. George called in from Lagos, that they both, are in full support of the action of Edo State in this regard. So you heard the commentary. I had a question for you, but did you want to comment on anything that was said?
Yeah, I think what Benga said is in order. He said quite a lot. And what I would just say is that the moment somebody comes into the office of president, governor, or a federal or state lawmaker, it now has a burden of activating the provisions of Section 14, Sub 2B of our 1999 Nigerian Constitution as amended, which says the security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government, meaning that the drafters of our Constitution has given every politician in power elected by the people 2 responsibilities. First is security, the second is welfare. You cannot talk of welfare if you don't deal with the problem of security, because with insecurity, there will not be welfare. So which makes security very important.
Indeed.
And at the moment, kidnapping is a big problem in our country.
All right.
And Edo is not an exception. But that's why we are now trying to deal with it head on as a problem.
Thank you. Another call has just come in. AIG Drosimi, Dr. Drosimi is on the line. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to your guests at the studio.
Sure.
I want to congratulate the governor of Edo State again for taking the necessary step actually to tackle this problem of insecurity, especially from the kidnapper side and that of the cultists. It is going to ensure speedy differentiation of justice. It's going to ensure that justice is not only to be done, but it has to be done fastly and attention will be given. Unlike situation whereby they have to be in the confessional court, where they will not add so many things, adjournment today, adjournment tomorrow. These federal courts will actually deal with the problem, and that is in line with Section 14, 2 sub B, which say the primary purpose of government is to provide security and welfare of the people.
Indeed.
But we have to support the police that are actually working on this issue so that they can support them with lawyers for speedy arraigning the suspect in court, and support the police again to ensure that these fights are taken to the criminal's end so that they can arrest them at when they are committing the offense or even before they commit the offense once there is enough evidence to prove it. It's a good thing, and I want to wish other governors will copy them, especially where kidnapping and cultism is high.
Okay.
It's a good thing. I don't know they carry last. Kudos to the governor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Drosimi, for calling in. Coming back to you now, Mr. Emwata, these courts, their special focus and interest is cultism and kidnapping cases. Most people will understand the kidnapping cases straight away. But the cultism part of it, there was a time when it was thought, cultism was thought of as something that students of tertiary institutions used to engage in. When did it make that transition away from a vexatious practice of some students of tertiary institutions to outright, this is criminality of the highest order if indeed the law sees its way through to deliver the ultimate sentence, which is death by hanging at the moment, but there's advocacy going on for it to even be changed to by execution, by public execution. When did, it's no more a tertiary school, misbehavior, cultism.
You're right, Uncle Yuri. Just like every other social concept, the crime of cultism is dynamic. I use corruption as an example to drive home the point. When we're growing up, when you hear corruption, the assumption is that it's only for those in government circles that can be corrupt. Until they come into force of the EFCC, we never saw corruption in the various dimensions it has even taken. So coming back to your question, you'll find that the problem we've had in our states in the past was that those in government encouraged cultism. Okay. So that even after people left university, they continued in their activities as members of cult groups.
Okay.
There was a time in Benin City where bus drivers, conductors, mechanics, just name all the artisans you have. You can never imagine. Plumbers, they're all members of secret cults.
Wow.
They even boasted openly with it. You see somebody telling the landlord that I'll bring members of my cult group to chase you away from the house.
Really?
So reverse the order. Under Okwebolo, somebody saying that alone is strict liability. It is just for the landlord to put a call across to the police or even record him.
Okay.
And that's it.
So, okay, I get you, sir.
Will go in
let me,
offense of cultism.
Okay, let me
so
bring
save
in
the landlord's house from being demolished.
All right, then. Mr. Yakub in Dokpemu, thank you for waiting. Go ahead now, please. Mr. Yakub in Dokpemu, good morning.
You see, I give kudos to Governor of Edo State. I've been saying this on this program sometimes ago that we need a special court to try all these criminalities. Because I also think that some other governors are looking up to Edo State for this kind of a very noble step that they were took. Because between me and you, a condemned person is someone that kidnapped someone. He collected the ransom, and then they got the person killed as well. Even though the ransom was not paid, they hungry and then got that person, they killed the person. Now, the Edo State have taken the bull by the horn now. My prayer is that I want all the 36 states in this country to take the same way, because this state police, that is why, you can see that the state police, for me, I stand to be corrected, it's going to be work, and then it's going to give us edge, it's going to give Nigeria edge on all these insecurities that we find ourselves. Before the state police, look at this kind of a step, a noble step, because between me and you, let's see, now a special court that's been setting up, let's say between at least 2 months or 3 months as highest, the judgment will be pronounced. The only thing I want to tell the governor is this: even though if the judges have been served, he should not wait a minute to sign the death warrant of whoever did the wrong thing, whoever do the kidnapping.
Yeah.
Because, see, look at it now. They will pronounce somebody guilty and then they will pronounce them either by firing squad or by death or hanging and all that. The government will not sign the death penalty. They will still keep them in the prison, as Mr. Govt rightly said earlier. They will use Nigerian taxpayer to face the idiot. And then at the end of the day, Another government may come, they will not say that I pardon them, they will release them to the society. Okay, the society again.
Okay.
What happened to those ones that the seats have been left behind? What happened to the wife? What's going to happen to the children? So, who goes to the governor of power law is a man of the world, and then I believe that this man is going to do the needful. If anybody does that, and then you kidnap somebody or you embark on nepotism and that, consider yourself dead, because this governor I'm looking to is going to sign that paper. Because I can see that governor is always move ahead of any other person. Not to him one again, because Lagos State also, they should be able to also look at this. Because no, it's truly Lagos State has been peaceful. Yes, it is not like my state or your state that when some people, some volunteer, they went into reserve and then they saw a lot of things there. The following day, you declare the coffee. Based on what? Based on what? You don't want them to see some certain things that's going on in their reserve? Literally, it's beyond what me and you can see.
Yeah.
Because when I watched those things on social media, I was laughing. There is no war between any other ethnicity in your state. Some people waiting to the reserve, and then they find out that the money, legal money, is going on, and then these people are kidnapping people as well, and then you declare the coffee. Based on what?
I hear you.
Governor of Edo State. God
Thank
bless
you.
Thank you. Once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yakub, for calling in. And that particular news item about some people going into the forest and seeing evidence of what they called illegal mining going on. And, the very next day or very shortly thereafter, a curfew being imposed, a state curfew being imposed. I suppose the government will be commenting on that because as presented and without getting any further enlightenment, it does leave a funny smell, so to speak. But we're in Edo State now. Our guest is Andrew Emwata, Special Advisor to Governor Kwebolo on legal matters. Now, the matter of cultism, thank you very much. You explained that a lot, that it's even now spread out of the universities and polytechnics such that, as we described it, even regular people are now finding their way to become members of those cults. Is the government doing anything to go to the original sources of these cults, since it's now a capital offense, or kidnapping, cultism? These can now, if once you are proven to be guilty of either of those two related charges, then the book will be thrown at you. Is the government able to do anything by going to the original source, that is these universities, these polytechnics, and ensure that they don't produce any more by banning outright any such grouping?
Yeah, thank you. It's an offense. And we try as much as we can not to create stereotypes. It's like when you're involved in an armed robbery, you don't need to go to Uniben, for example, to say, oh, armed robbers in Uniben. The government will come after. They already know that armed robbery is a criminal offense. Because we keep saying this. In the social media, we have adverts. The Ministry of Information put it out, right? And there's a general saying in law that ignorantia juris neminem non excusat. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Okay. Most of the university students who are involved in cultism know that under Edo State, it attracts death penalty if found guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. We now have the special criminal court.
Okay.
So for those still at home thinking that the Edo State government is not serious, with this special court, we mean serious business. Okay. Because this governor, as I've said before, does not believe in cultism. He has never been a member of any court. And cultism is a big problem in our society of today. It cuts across every strata. I don't want to even mention some people who belong to different other courts, because you have the ones in the university, you have the ones outside the university. Okay. And the law does not say, oh, university courts. Cultism in its entirety. The moment you are involved in any violent act by way of being a member of a cult group, you will certainly face the law.
Okay.
And from having the law passed to empowering the police, settling special task forces, writing to the chief judge for a special court, the chief judge acceded to the request by establishing the court, and the court begins tomorrow. I was at the High Court this morning, and the new staff of the court are putting everything in place so that the judge will start sitting from tomorrow.
Okay.
So that we can smoke out all these kidnappers and cultists masquerading as citizens of Edo State.
Okay.
Because
Mr. Joshua,
where they deserve to be
Mr. Joshua in
the Gulag.
Mr. Joshua in Irewolide is waiting to... Thank you. Mr. Joshua in Irewolide, good morning to you, sir.
Thank you for bringing me on, sir.
Thank you.
And my greetings to your guest, Uncle Yori.
Okay, sir.
This is really another good news coming from Edo State. That governor is a huge revelation of what leadership should be about. Go focus on this not well-to-do people. Focus on oratory, people who can speak good English but have nothing to offer. So the governor was really underestimated when he started, but he has hit the ground running. And for me, I congratulate him. I congratulate the people of Edo State. Has action, and he does the right thing at the right time.
Okay.
You know, a lot of governors, I love this example because the fact is this. Many people are claiming that security is about the president alone. But we'll be happy to see taking initiatives and doing things that shows that under the law, you can do things legitimately as a governor that will serve the security of your state. People want, they just cook up things and you imagine excuses that doesn't exist. You are an executive governor voted by, you have the responsibility to provide security for them. You now be claiming that because the commissioner of police doesn't answer to you and all this and all that, that's why you cannot provide security. What do you want? One governor even said that when he becomes president, that's when he will be able to provide security. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in Lagos for 8 years. I was in Lagos at that time. I had not relocated to Ogun State. This man provided security for his state. And he had serious problems. The federal government was breathing down on him. He was able to provide security for Lagos State. Governors should learn from this before this kidnapping becomes too difficult to handle, because people are now kidnapping themselves.
Yeah,
have now become trade by barter. They are now using it to make money. Imagine a deputy of a local government staging her own kidnapping. That's how bad this thing is. So governors should be proactive. They should borrow a leaf from him. I congratulate him. Please let him sign anybody that is convicted. Let him not waste time. Let him sign.
He has already indicated that he will not be shy.
He who kills by the sword should die by the sword.
Indeed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Governor Kwebolo has already indicated that he's not going to be shy of signing death warrants that are properly laid before him.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, that was a sort of an echo. But did you hear me, Mr. Emwata?
Yes, I did very well.
Okay. So now, just a little bit more on this whole matter of the joining of these two very serious criminal matters, cultism and kidnapping. Kidnapping is a clear case. What if, and I'm sure the legal minds would have been thinking about this, what if a person says, okay, yeah, so I'm a member of a cult, I'm a cult member, but I am not a kidnapper, I'm not a killer, it's a social something, not everybody agrees with it, but if it is proved that a person is a number, that is enough to earn you the maximum sentence, right? if it is established?
No, it may not. It may not. You have different levels of offenses. If as a court member, you are involved in a violent crime,
okay,
right, that results in bodily injury, of course, that is different from just being a member of a court.
Okay, because we hear
and
cultism.
Being a member of a court,
we're looking at cultism and kidnapping. So I was a bit concerned that cultism and kidnapping, are they on the same level now? What does cultism mean? Does it mean you are a member of XYZ cult at ABC University, you can be charged?
No, let me tell you one thing. Being a member of a court places a criminal responsibility on you. Okay. The moment a member of your court group attacks, right, there's an element of conspiracy.
Okay.
There's an element of, because there's what we call inchoate offenses, accessories before and after the fact and all of that. So as a member of that group, it was a decision your group has taken to kill Mr. B. That makes you also culpable.
Okay.
And that's why you should not be a member of the court group.
Indeed. That's the
it's
safest
like when you
thing.
belong to a criminal gang of kidnappers.
Yes.
Once that kidnap operation succeeds and it fails, when those people are arrested, you become culpable for that offense.
Okay. So
that's the point.
Everybody
and that's why those court groups are listed in the law.
Okay. All right.
Gangs that once you are a member of that gang, there's an implication.
Okay. All right.
That's why in that same offense, you have different kinds, in that same law, you have different kinds of offenses.
Indeed.
The ultimate being death penalty.
Indeed. And as we're speaking now, I'm even reminded that the Oba of Benin, had called on, his traditionalists to weigh in on the matter as well, just trying to rid Edo State of all these kind of behaviors. That shows that the Oba, with his own institution, is also joining forces with, civic administration as well. There was a time when he said his traditionalists should go out there too and put curses on these kind of people. Do whatever is traditionally acceptable or doable. So it looks like we're weighing in on all sides as far as Edo State is concerned. Edo State is showing seriously, with all seriousness, that there is simply no room for this kind of behavior anymore. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yes, you are right, because the Oba from day one has been very supportive of the present administration of Edo State headed by Senator Mondo Kwebelo. He has a very good relationship to the extent that whatever the government is doing, the Oba has always been very supportive.
Okay.
And we see him as a royal father.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the Oba, religious leaders and other traditional rulers, have been very supportive of what the governor is doing. Because the problem of insecurity is a general problem.
It is.
So the Oba are now joining forces with the governor, and the government of Edo State will go a long way in sending a very strong message.
Okay.
Because some of these people who are kidnappers are also adherents of these African traditional belief.
All right.
They see the Oba as their spiritual leader. So that also sends a message.
Indeed.
Well, we've run out of time. If you don't stop, something will happen to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew Emwata, Special Advisor to Governor Kwebelo on legal matters. Just airing the subject matter of the seriousness with which Edo State is now taking all aspects of criminality, but in particular, kidnapping and cultism. I want to thank you very much. This kicks off tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 1st of July. That tomorrow is the first day.
Yes, exactly.
In existence of these courts. So thank you very much once again for coming in. We'll have to leave the program there, but do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.